Imagine your 4-year-old. She's been out of diapers for over a year. She runs confidently ahead of you down the sidewalk, sure of her place in the world. Then, almost overnight, she stops, turns around, and demands to be carried like an infant. A new baby comes home, and 3 days later, that same independent child is asking for a bottle. She's talking in a high, squeaky voice she hasn't used in years. Accidents start happening after months of dry pants. When you're running on 4 hours of sleep and there's a newborn on your chest, the first instinct is to fix it. You tell her, "You're a big girl now. Big girls use the potty." You feel like you don't have room for a second baby who isn't actually a baby. But pushing against this behavior usually backfires. This sliding backward is a common response for a firstborn, and treating it as a problem to be disciplined often just makes the behavior dig in deeper. Your child isn't broken or going backward on purpose. She simply lacks the vocabulary for a complex fear. She cannot say, "I'm scared I'm being replaced," so her body says it for her. Instead of a behavioral nuisance, try seeing this as an urgent, nonverbal question. Every time she reaches for a bottle or slips into baby talk, she is asking, "Am I still yours?" Decades ago, researchers like Mary Ainsworth, seen here, showed that young children navigate the world using an invisible map of safety. This diagram represents that map. Safety is anchored by a parent's undivided attention. But when a sibling arrives, that attention splits. Suddenly, the toddler's map gets shaky because the ground beneath them shifted. Look at the mechanics in the brain. When safety feels threatened, the logical upstairs brain goes offline. The feeling downstairs brain takes over. Stripped of calm reasoning, the brain defaults to its oldest survival tactic, acting like an infant. Babies get held, fed, and get the soft voice. She becomes one again to check the deal holds. This is why act your age doesn't work. The child isn't choosing this rationally. It's a biological response to the perceived threat of losing you. Consider a mom named Priya and her son Anav. He was 3.5 when his sister was born. Within a week, Anav stopped using words. He grunted, he pointed. Every time Priya set the baby down, he would go limp and floppy, sliding off the couch like he'd lost his bones. Terrified, Priya pushed back. She told him to use his words, and when she did, the grunting got louder. The floppiness turned into screaming. To a toddler afraid of being forgotten, your frustrated attention is still attention. If acting like a baby earns your focus, the behavior works. Parental friction often validates the child's strategy. If the baby version gets the reaction he craves, the behavior earns its keep and continues. Priya eventually pivoted. Instead of fighting the floppiness, she leaned in. She scooped him up after the baby's feed and told him, "Your turn. My big boy gets a turn too." She gave him a few minutes on her lap, his choice, every afternoon. Within 2 weeks, Anav's vocabulary returned. Not because she drilled him on his words, but because she answered the question behind his silence. He didn't need to act like a baby anymore because he was secure in his place. This is why many specialists recommend special time. 10 minutes every day where you follow your child's lead. No phones, no baby, and no teaching. They are in charge of you for those 10 minutes. It helps to name this time in advance. By telling her, after the nap, it's our special time, you give her a fixed point she can count on through the unpredictable chaos of life with a newborn. When a child is given permission to be little on purpose, the reaching often stops. A child whose tank is full doesn't need to keep regressing to get what they need. In the middle of a meltdown, try naming the feeling first. Say, "You wish you could be the baby right now." Often a child softens just by being seen. If she gets rough with the newborn, hold the limit and the connection together. Say, "I won't let you hurt the baby. Let's find something else for those big feelings." You can be firm and kind in the same breath. To protect their system, avoid stacking big changes. This is the worst time to start potty training or move her out of her crib. She is already working overtime to absorb one massive change. Avoid the comparison trap. Asking why she can't be more grown up confirms her fear that the baby is winning and she is losing. Handling these slip-ups with warmth proves she doesn't have to compete for her place. When the question is answered with connection, the need for regression fades. Remember, this is a season, not a permanent new personality. For most children, the heaviest part of this transition eases within a month or two. By repeatedly answering her underlying fear with connection, she learns something she'll carry for life, that love is not a pie that runs out when it's shared. When this storm is met with empathy, that jealous, clingy toddler often transforms into something else, a devoted, protective older sibling.